Marie Antoinette, born Maria Antonia Josefa Johanna on November 2, 1755, in the Hofburg Palace in Vienna, Austria, was the 15th child of Empress Maria Theresa and Holy Roman Emperor Francis I. From the moment of her birth, she was thrust into the political landscape of European royalty, a world defined by alliances, rivalries, and strategic marriages. Her mother, Maria Theresa, was a formidable ruler who, upon the death of her father, took control of the Austrian throne, fighting tirelessly to maintain her empire against external threats. This tumultuous environment profoundly shaped the character and life of her daughter, who would become one of the most controversial figures in European history. Marie Antoinette's life was a whirlwind of opulence and scandal, a queen whose very name became synonymous with excess and tragedy. Beneath the glittering facade of Versailles lay a woman torn between royal duty and personal despair, caught in the storm of revolution that would cost her everything. Her extravagant lifestyle and mysterious love affairs fueled a public frenzy that ultimately led to her brutal execution. Her story, filled with both splendor and downfall, echoes through history as a haunting reminder of the dangers of power and the cost of ignoring the cries of the people. To this day, her name stirs the imagination, forever etched in the annals of both royalty and revolution. The personal life of Marie Antoinette, particularly regarding her sexual relationships, has been the subject of much speculation, but definitive evidence is scarce. Historically, it is known that she was married to King Louis XVI, whom she married in 1770 at the age of 14. The couple struggled with their intimacy early in their marriage, but they eventually had 4 children together. Beyond this, there have been rumors and gossip about her potential infidelities, but these claims were often politically motivated or exaggerated. One of the most notable accusations against her was that she had an affair with Count Axel von Fersen, a Swedish nobleman. Fersen was a close confidant and supporter, and the two shared a deep emotional connection. However, there is no concrete evidence to confirm the nature of their relationship, and it remains speculative whether they were romantically or sexually involved. In terms of other sexual partners, there are no verified records of any additional relationships outside her marriage. Much of the talk surrounding Marie Antoinette's sexual life was fueled by anti-monarchical propaganda during and after the French Revolution, aimed at discrediting the Queen. Given the lack of factual evidence, it's important to view these claims with skepticism. What we know for certain is that Marie Antoinette was a royal figure constantly under public scrutiny, and her personal life was often twisted into the narrative of excess and moral corruption by those who sought to undermine the monarchy. Maria Antonia was raised in the luxurious, yet politically charged court of the Habsburg family. Unlike many of her siblings, who were well educated and engaged in the workings of European diplomacy, Maria Antonia's early years were less about statecraft and more about her upbringing as a future queen. Despite her privileged status, her childhood was marked by a strict regimen of education that was primarily centered around the arts, languages, and court etiquette. She was educated by a series of tutors who were chosen by her mother, including Jesuits who stressed the importance of grace and decorum. However, there were those who believed that her education lacked the political depth necessary to prepare her for the challenges of monarchy. At the age of 14, Maria Antonia's life took a dramatic turn. In a move designed to solidify the alliance between the Habsburgs and the Bourbon monarchy, her mother arranged for her marriage to Louis Auguste, the Dauphin of France, who would later become King Louis XVI. This marriage was primarily political, aimed at securing an alliance between Austria and France during a time of shifting power dynamics. In Europe, the young princess was sent to France in 1770, where she would become known as Marie Antoinette. Her arrival at Versailles in 1770 marked the beginning of a life of luxury and extravagance, but also one of political intrigue and isolation. Upon marrying Louis Auguste, who was 15 at the time, the couple was expected to consummate their marriage and produce an heir. However, the young couple was ill-prepared for their royal responsibilities. Louis Auguste, shy and awkward, struggled with the physical and emotional demands of marriage. And for years, the couple's inability to produce an heir led to gossip and public scandal. It was during these early years that Marie Antoinette became the subject of intense scrutiny. Though she had been trained in the art of diplomacy, she found herself out of place in the stifling formality of the French court, where any misstep could result in public scandal. One of the earliest controversies surrounding Marie Antoinette involved her extravagant spending habits. France, at the time, was in financial turmoil. The country was burdened by immense debt, exacerbated by France's involvement in the American Revolution. Meanwhile, Marie Antoinette's indulgent lifestyle, lavish clothing, extravagant parties, and costly gifts earned her the ire of the French public. The Queen's notorious spending habits became a symbol of the decadence and corruption of the monarchy, while many of the rumors surrounding her lifestyle were exaggerated. The French public's perception of her as a wasteful and indifferent queen only grew. The most infamous example of her excesses was the construction of the Petit Trianon, a private retreat where she sought refuge from the prying eyes of the court. The chateau was outfitted with extravagant decor and an idyllic garden, all at the expense of the already financially strained French populace. However, beneath the image of an extravagant queen lay a more complicated figure. Marie Antoinette, in fact, had little control over the finances of the monarchy. Her husband, Louis XVI, was the one who bore the weight of state decisions, though his indecisiveness and inability to understand the scope of France's financial crisis contributed to the collapse of the monarchy. The Queen's reputation as a symbol of excess was, in part, the result of her being a foreigner at the French court. She was not French, and as a result, she was often viewed as an outsider, a foreigner with little loyalty to the French people or their interests. Her Austrian roots led to rumors that she was conspiring with her home country against France, a perception that would grow stronger as tensions in France escalated. As the political situation in France grew more dire in the late 1780s, Marie Antoinette's position became increasingly untenable. The monarchy, once a symbol of grandeur, had begun to show signs of weakness. Food shortages, economic instability, and widespread discontent with the ruling class fueled the growing anger of the French populace. The Queen's role in the political and financial mismanagement of the country became a rallying point for the revolutionaries who sought to dismantle the ancient regime. In 1789, when the storming of the Bastille marked the beginning of the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette's life would never be the same. During the revolution, her actions were constantly under the microscope. The infamous phrase, "let them eat cake," often attributed to her, was likely a fabrication, designed to further vilify her in the eyes of the people. Nonetheless, her refusal to publicly empathize with the suffering of the French population only deepened the animosity toward her. Her luxurious lifestyle seemed to mock the poverty and hardships of the common people. As tensions escalated, Marie Antoinette became a symbol of everything that was wrong with the monarchy. Her public image became that of a heartless, out-of-touch queen who had no regard for the suffering of her people. Marie Antoinette's personal life, too, became the subject of intense speculation. Her marriage to Louis XVI remained childless for many years, and the couple's inability to consummate their marriage became a source of ridicule. However, it was later revealed that Louis XVI suffered from a medical condition that made it difficult for him to perform his marital duties, a fact that had been kept secret for many years. while some contemporary accounts suggested that Marie Antoinette had affairs with other men, such as the Swedish diplomat Axel von Fersen. Historians have debated the extent of these claims. Much of the gossip surrounding her relationships can be attributed to the intense public scrutiny she faced, and there is no definitive evidence to suggest that she was unfaithful to her husband. Marie Antoinette's final years were marked by imprisonment and eventual execution. In 1791, the royal family attempted to escape Paris in the infamous flight to Varennes, but they were caught and returned to the city. In 1792, the monarchy was abolished, and Louis XVI was executed. Marie Antoinette was tried by the Revolutionary Tribunal, found guilty of treason, and sentenced to death. On October 16, 1793, she was executed by guillotine in the Place de la Révolution in Paris. Her death marked the symbolic end of the French monarchy and the rise of a new, more radical political order in France. In the years following her death, Marie Antoinette's legacy became a subject of debate. While some saw her as a tragic victim of revolution, others viewed her as a symbol of the monarchy's excesses and corruption. Her wealth, once the envy of Europe, was quickly dissipated in the wake of the revolution. The royal treasures were looted, and much of her personal jewelry was sold to fund the revolutionary cause. Her children, too, were affected by her downfall. Marie-Thérèse, her only surviving child, was imprisoned and later exiled. The rest of Marie Antoinette's family either perished or lived in obscurity. Marie Antoinette's story, filled with scandal, tragedy, and intrigue, has inspired countless works of art, literature, and film. The most famous films about her life include Marie Antoinette, 1938, starring Norma Shearer, and Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette, 2006, which presents a more modern, stylized portrayal of the Queen's life. Other notable documentaries include The Last Queen of France and Marie Antoinette, The Royal Rebel, which explore her role in the French Revolution and her ultimate downfall. Throughout her life, Marie Antoinette remained a controversial figure, often misunderstood and vilified by the public. While she lived in luxury and enjoyed the privileges of her position, her story is also one of tragedy, marked by exile, betrayal, and execution. Today, she is remembered not only for her extravagance but also as a victim of the forces of revolution that she could neither control nor comprehend. Her legacy, like her life, remains a complex and multifaceted subject, one that continues to captivate historians and audiences alike. Marie Antoinette left behind a wealth of cultural and historical significance, but her personal fortune was mostly absorbed by the revolution. Her tragic end, however, immortalized her as a symbol of the fall of the French monarchy. Her story serves as a reminder of the transient nature of power and wealth, as well as the dangers of disconnecting from the struggles of the people. In conclusion, Marie Antoinette's life was a tumultuous blend of grandeur, scandal, political intrigue, and ultimate downfall. The legacy of her reign is one that serves as a warning about the dangers of excessive power and the disconnect between rulers and their subjects. As the world continues to remember her story, it is clear that the Queen of France will forever be a symbol of both the excesses and the ultimate collapse of monarchy in revolutionary France.